The U.S. government bombed a black neighborhood. Let that sink in. A bomb from a helicopter on American soil, unalive children, and the same city that did it had already tried to erase that same group 7 years earlier. If you've never heard of the MOVE organization, it's because they never wanted you to. So let's start with who they were. MOVE wasn't a gang, it wasn't a cult. It was a collective of black activists, anarchists, environmentalists, and anti-police brutality organizers. They lived communally, grew their own food, raised their children outside of state control, called out corrupt officials by name. They didn't play the respectability game, and they sure didn't back down. By the late 1970s, they were living in Powelltown Village, which is in West Philadelphia, and the police, they hated it. They saw them as a threat because they were loud, visible, and uncompromising. So on August 8, 1978, Philly police launched a military-style siege on the MOVE house. Over 600 officers, bulldozers, floodlights, tear gas, water cannons. They shut off the power and water days beforehand to break their will. And during the raid, a police officer, James Ramp, was shot and unalived. But to this day, no one can say who fired the shot. No ballistics, no clear evidence, nothing. But they didn't care because they just wanted somebody to blame. 9 MOVE members were arrested, and they were sentenced to 30 to 100 years in prison. They're now known as the MOVE 9. Some weren't even near the shooting. One of them, Debbie Africa, was 8 months pregnant when she was arrested. She gave birth in prison and had her baby taken from her arms. And if that sounds extreme, then you haven't heard about what happens next. In 1985, the MOVE organization relocated to Osage Avenue, which is another black neighborhood in West Philadelphia. The city called them a nuisance, complained about the kids, the politics, the animals, the volume. So instead of mediation, they planned an attack. On May 13, 1985, they sent 500 police officers to evict them. They came in with tear gas, assault rifles, water hoses, and a bomb. Yes, a real bomb. C4 military grade dropped from a helicopter. They dropped it directly onto the MOVE house. It exploded on impact and the house caught fire. And when it did, the fire department was told to let it burn. 11 people died. 5 of them were children, and the fire spread, destroying 61 black homes. An entire block reduced to ash. And the people responsible? No one was fired. No one was charged. The city paid out a settlement and then went quiet. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't an accident. It was a warning. If you disrupt the system, we will erase you. They called them violent for speaking up. They called them dangerous for living free. They called them terrorists and then dropped bombs on their babies. So don't ask why you've never heard of MOVE. Ask why they worked so hard to bury it. This country will teach you about foreign threats, but won't teach you about the bomb that it dropped on black families in Philadelphia. That bomb wasn't just meant for MOVE. It was meant for all of us who refused to be quiet. And the system that dropped it, still here, still funded, still aiming.